All
And
right.
All right. No issues. This is India, man.
Hey everybody, Koricon Nala here, and I'm joined by King's writer Shubi and Vishal. I get it right?
Exactly.
Ah,
Yeah, that's right.
I got it right. All right, cool. They contacted me because they wanted to interview me, and I asked if I could record it, since I'm a YouTuber, and that's my job. I record things. And they said yes. So, this is their interview. I'm just hosting the recording, and you should go over to their website, kingswriter.com, with 2 G's, and read the article, support them. Thank you very much. It feels a little weird being the one being interviewed. I'm usually the one interviewing. So I will hand it off to you. Go ahead and take over. Have fun.
Yeah,
The opening was great, and we would like to say namaste to you as well as your viewers.
Namaste.
Namaste as a culture.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Today we are going to interview you, and the reason we reached out to you was that we had been following your videos, and we really liked the Padmavati review. So, we commented on your video, and you replied us back. So that's why we thought we'd reach out to you.
Yeah, you had commented on the video about your article that you wrote.
Yeah.
Right.
And I thought it was a good article. There were a couple of things that I didn't quite agree with, but as an opinion piece, I really liked it. I thought it was well written.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It was written by her.
Oh, well, yeah, she's the smart one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we are equally smart. Yeah, so the first question we would like to ask is that how did you end up on YouTube?
All right. Well, so back in 2015, you know, I had discovered reaction channels. I never knew they existed. And
2015.
2015.
15.
2015.
Okay.
So 3 years ago. And, you know, I saw some, you know, The Real Rejects and Tyrone Magnus, you know, a lot of those people. And I thought, I can do that. But I never really thought I had, you know, I always loved movies. I always wanted to film something, but I never had the equipment to do it. But then these smartphones came out with really nice cameras on them.
Which phone you're using?
Well, this is a Samsung Galaxy S7 Active.
Okay.
And then
Sexy phone.
I would just like to mention, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you, but Samsung is his favorite brand.
yeah, that's mine too. Because
Yeah.
my vlogging camera is the Samsung Note 4.
Note 4.
Note 4.
That was my old phone, and I just use it as my vlogging camera now. And that was actually the phone that I made my first video on,
Oh, that's nice.
which was about Star Wars: The Force Awakens. The trailer had come out, and I couldn't do a reaction video for it, and so I did a review kind of discussion video on there.
Okay.
Okay.
So your channel was started in 2015.
Yeah, October. I think it was October 21st of 2015.
Okay.
Okay.
So 2.5 years ago.
You have couple of channels.
I do now. About probably 5 or 6 months ago, more like 4 or 5 months ago, the channel was getting too cluttered with it felt like a lot of random stuff, because I would have like an Indian movie review, and then I would be unboxing a loot crate, and then talking about an American TV show, and then going over an Indian, like it was it felt like it was all over the place. And so
Yeah.
I decided to split the channels up. At first, I didn't want to do it because I thought, well, a lot of my Indian fans like the American stuff as well.
Right.
But,
Right.
and so I was kind of playing with the idea. But I finally made the decision because I was like, look, any of my Indian fans that like American movies can just subscribe to both channels. And any of my American fans that love both Indian movies, they can subscribe to both channels. You know, so
Exactly.
that's why I did it. And I think it's been really great. Now, my second channel doesn't have very many subscribers on it. It's like, there's 158 subscribers on there or something. It's really small. But we're doing a lot of experimenting over there. Like, with a friend of mine, he's a director of the web series Batman Master of Fear, and they're working on the second episode right now. But we've been doing a lot of collaborations, like Twitch live streams for movie discussions. Like, we're gonna do one tomorrow night, like Thursday night. We're streaming on Twitch with him and his writing partner about the movie Aliens. We do videos for the TV show Young Justice. So it's a lot of kind of experimenting. And then all of my American movie reviews go over there because also I'm connected to our local city kind of online nonprofit newspaper. It's called the Longmont Observer. And they asked if they could use my movie reviews in their paper. And so having that separate channel allows me to be able to do that. We have a decent-sized Indian community here, but we don't have Indian movies in the city. You have to... Our theater doesn't play Indian movies, so you have to go outside the city. So we end up not really going over any Indian movies for the local city paper just because we don't have any.
Okay, so for Padmavat and Bahubali, you went outside the city.
Yeah, for Padmavat, I had to... that took me 3 times to go see it. But that one was showing fairly close. It was only a half an hour away.
Okay.
For Bahubali 2, that was in South Denver. And at the time, I didn't have my car working, and so I had to take the bus and the train. It took me about 2 hours, an hour and a half to 2 hours to get down to the theater, watch the movie, and then another hour and a half to 2 hours to come home.
How was the movie Padmavat?
I really liked it, but I can understand why a lot of people wouldn't. It is slow. It's a very slow drama. But it's supposed to be a slow drama. It's based on an epic poem. If you try to increase the speed on something like that, then you're going to take away from the impact of a poem. It's like saying Shakespeare is boring. You know, Shakespeare's not boring. Shakespeare is just slow. It has a lot of dialogue. It has a lot of setups. With a lot of Shakespeare stuff, you don't get to anything exciting until the end anyway. If you tried to speed up Shakespeare, then all of a sudden it kind of becomes cheesy. You know, it's not good anymore. So Padmavat's along the same lines. I mean, they were written around the same time. Padmavat and a lot of Shakespeare are written around the same time. And so you can't really, I know a lot of people are like, it just didn't move fast enough. Yeah, but you can't do that. It's not going to work.
Right. The beauty is right there in it being slow. Otherwise, it wouldn't be such a beautiful movie.
It needed to be slow for the impact of the characters. The way that they were portraying those characters, they needed to have a slow burn, and the story needed to flow in a nice constant pace. If you tried to speed up just sections of it, like if you tried to speed up the army battles, then you're going to have pockets pockets of speed, and the tone and the consistent flow just gets knocked out all over the place, where you're like going like this and then all of a sudden really fast, and then you go, it would be jarring. It would take you out of the movie. So you got to keep that pace for any movie.
Your personal beliefs, which movie was better, Bahubali 2 or Padmavat?
I don't compare them because they're different genres. Bahubali is a fantasy. You know,
Yeah,
it's a fantasy with fantastical heroes, the over-the-top action because they have mythological powers, godlike powers. Padmavat is more of it's a drama based like a. I wouldn't want to say. I
in
wouldn't
that
want to
movie you
say.
can see that the grand culture of the India, that the Rajputana. Actually, I'm also a Rajput.
Oh, you are Rajput.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm sure. Like after I saw the movie, I was like, I think if you're Rajput, you would be proud of this movie. Were you?
definitely.
You? Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was.
so what
The
did you?
tears were rolling from my eyes.
So what did you think about my little commentary on the whole controversy?
Actually, the thing was that the Karni Sena was not knowing about the movie.
Yeah.
They were actually not knowing, and they were just demanding that we want to watch the movie once, then you can release in the entire country and abroad as well, overseas.
Yeah. So,
But the director said, I will not let them allow to watch the movie before the release,
Right.
and that was not pretty well.
yeah, and the only reason that the Karni Sena wanted to see the movie was that because they were
Because we respect Padmavat we treat as a mother. We call Ma Padmavat.
Right.
That's our mother.
right.
So if someone will take the fingers on a mother, then definitely we'll shout on that.
Right. But the
Right.
Carnificina was also kind of lying to everybody about what they had problems with, like creating
Yeah.
controversy that, the Muslim ruler was somehow falling in love with Padmavat and like creating all this stuff that wasn't there. So because of all the controversy and the hatred and, even the director getting hit in the face, if I was the director, I'm not going to show you the movie either because you're attacking me. You're physically attacking me. You're lying
Yeah,
to
he was
people
also
about my
slapped.
movie. It's like, why would I show it to you? Why would I give in to that kind of terrorism?
The thing is that the topic was very sensitive,
Yeah, I know.
so
Yeah.
we should not select that topic,
Now he did
which,
have
which
a
could
he did
which
have
could
a
hurt
group.
any personal beliefs.
I'm sorry?
Any director should not pick up that topic which can hurt the personal beliefs of a human.
Right, but at the same time, you have like the freedom of speech. You've got people that do movies about Christianity that totally blast Christianity. If you go along the same lines, you're saying that they're not allowed to say anything negative about Christianity, which I think
Definitely.
you should be able to. Like, if someone doesn't like another religion and they have the money to make a movie about it, it doesn't mean people have to watch it. It doesn't mean it has to be good. But I think they should be allowed to make the movie. We're just allowed to hate on them after the movie comes out. I mean, look at one of the more famous movies that came out of the 1970s was called Jesus Christ Superstar. A lot of people saw that movie as sacrilegious, but it had a different take on everything. And then you have Dan Brown with his book on the Da Vinci Code, basically
Right.
saying that Jesus had a wife and had kids. For a lot of Christians, that is very sacrilegious because he's like their son of God. But people should be allowed to make those stories. We just don't have to like it.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So now I would like to ask something about your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So how do you find the inspiration for every single video? You keep your content fresh and engaging. So how do you do that?
Well, I basically treat the camera like it is the people that are commenting on the videos. So when I look at the camera, I'm actually kind of seeing names from the comment section in my head of people that I've
Okay.
talked to or people that I know. I basically treat it like a person, as if there is somebody there. And
Yeah,
I just talk to the camera like I would anybody in real life. So
And how to come over the shyness in the front of the camera?
I'm not shy.
Yeah.
Yes,
No.
you are not.
No, but no, seriously, when I was a teenager, I was very shy, because I was bullied a lot and I was beat up a lot for being really big. You know, I was always a really big kid. I had, I know this is a big word, calcaneal apophysitis, which was a thing in my heels where my heels would fracture, and I was in a wheelchair for like 5 or 6 months out of the year while I was growing up for about 4 or 5 years. And so I got really fat. And then I got made fun of for it. I got beat up for it. I was always the biggest kid, like really tall. I'm like 6'2". And so I was really shy as a teenager. And then when I went to college, I just started talking to everybody. And that's who I am. Like you can drop me in a room full of strangers, and an hour later I made a whole bunch of friends and we're having a party. Like I'm just one of those kind of personalities. I don't like silence, and so I just talk to whoever. You know, I strike up conversations with perfect strangers all the time. And I like to joke around. You know, I like to see people smile. I like to see them laugh.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's me being silly that does that, you know. Especially, and I have to get over an extra hurdle that most people don't have to do. When you're big, people automatically assume things about you, like right off the bat. You know, they always say first impressions are the best, you know.
It's the last.
But I am automatically judged without saying anything, because like even though I lost a lot of weight, I still weigh 350 pounds. I've got 220 pounds of muscle, and I'm 6'2".
That's big.
So I'm a big dude. And
Yes, you are.
people, you know, automatically or feel a little hesitant, because one, I look like I can beat the crap out of them, but then I'm also fat as well. So I have to get over that hurdle, and for me to do that is for me to just be outgoing and make someone laugh, and then it kind of brings that down, and then that part doesn't matter anymore. So
Yeah.
I have to do that with everybody. And so I treat the camera the same way I would treat somebody I met for the first time, and just hang out with them and then talk.
Okay, so
Yeah, I would like to mention that no one would believe that this is the first time we are talking with you,
Yeah,
because you're so outgoing.
Yeah, well, actually, we've been talking for 20 minutes before the interview, but that was because I was trying to set all this stuff up.
Right.
So, other question is that any weirdest thing your viewer has done for you?
The weirdest
Means you are in
thing?
the public. Yeah.
Well, the weirdest thing is what happened recently, where Madhavan got Amazon to get me an Amazon Prime account so I could review his show Breathe.
So that
Okay,
was
so
the
that was a
weirdest.
weird thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, how weird is it that a major star like Madhavan, you know, retweets your thing, says that he saw my review of Vikram Vita last year, and offered to get me an Amazon Prime account. That's just,
Oh,
that's weird. That's way that's way out there.
thank you, baat kar raha hai.
Other than
So-
that, I've got a few things that fans had mailed me, like movies. You know, I've had some movies mailed to me, and the fans that you saw before my Bahubali 2 review, they paid for my movie ticket so that I could just watch it with them. But I had to get down. I had to get down there, so it's just hard to get down there.
One superpower, if you will get
One superpower
for a day.
for a day.
Yeah.
Just a day? You're just gonna tease me with one day of superpower? That's not fair.
You can change the world with the power.
Can I have the superpower of winning the lottery? Can I do that one and just get a lot of money all of a sudden? Oh, that's weird for just one day. Wow. that makes it a lot harder to decide on a superpower because you only get to use it for a short period of time. See,
Right.
I would say incredible strength, but I've already got that. So maybe fly. It would be
Fly.
cool to fly around, like Superman.
Okay.
Fly and see a bunch of stuff that I've never been able to see, like fly to India and then fly to Ireland and then fly to Australia and go, finally meet my friend Sergeant Rocco, and fly to Africa and South America, like just fly all over the place.
That's a nice superpower to choose.
I just wouldn't
So
be
your
spending much
favorite-
time because it's just one day. So it'd be like, hello, India, bye. Hello, Australia, bye.
So your favorite destination, your holiday destination?
My favorite destination where I want to visit?
Yeah.
Well, I've always wanted to go to India, New Zealand, Ireland, Brazil, and I've always wanted to go to Teotihuacan, which is an ancient city in Aztec city right outside of Mexico City. I love ancient cultures, and so I've always wanted to go and see the Sun Temple and the Moon Temple at Teotihuacan. I thought that would be awesome.
So you mentioned India in your list. So which cities would you like to visit in India?
Well,
Or yeah.
someone told me I was famous in Bangalore, so maybe I'll go there.
Bangalore.
I don't know. I would like to see
Taj Mahal.
if I ever do a tour of India, if I could do that, something for the channel and not just a one-time visit. I would like to visit all of the major cities for the languages that I review. So go and see, the main Bengali center and Kannada center and Malayalam center and Telugu and Tamil and Hindi and just hit all of the big cities going around. Just go around.
You will not see Taj Mahal?
And I'll go everywhere else except the exact center where you are. No, yeah.
You will not come over here.
You won't come here.
I'll hit everything else, I promise. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I would go. I would go there. Got to hit the middle.
Right. So, okay. So for YouTube, we would like to ask, what message would you give to someone who just wants to start a channel? Any inspiration or any motivational thing you would like to say?
Be yourself. Don't try to be a character or someone different because it's not sustainable. You can't be a character every day. It's you think about it like this. If you lie all the time, eventually it'll catch up with you. Being a character on your YouTube channel, you're basically lying about who you are. And that eventually is not going to be sustainable. You're going to crack. The channel is going to fall. So just be yourself. What makes any YouTube channel interesting is not the content per se. It's the people in it. There's plenty of channels that have reviewers, movie reviewers, or trailer reactors. You're going to see a person. You like that person. Even if you don't agree with them, you like their point of view on it, and it still tells you, you're like, okay, if he likes this, but I know that I wouldn't. You still judge. You still get an idea. So people are going to see you. And that's how I've always done my channel, is I just do my thing, and I be myself. And if there's people that are interested, they'll find me. But I don't.
That's how we found you.
Yeah, I don't do anything to get views.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those doing clickbait in the thumbnails or I'm not going to bring on a swimsuit model to be in my thumbnail so I can get the
Right.
the click.
So, any three YouTube celebrities which you like?
Yeah, so one of my favorite movie reviewers in general has always been this guy named Chris Stuckman. I think last year he broke 1 million subscribers.
Okay.
And he's very good at. Me and him kind of line up a lot on movies and how to analyze them and different things, but I think I'm a little nicer to movies than he is, but we're pretty close, and I like his style. Philip DeFranco, who is news, he does news stuff. I love information, but I don't like my information being filtered through propaganda. And so whenever I try and find information about a story, I try and find the people or places I know are not going to filter it, and they're just going to give me the raw information, or I will just go look up the raw information. So Philip DeFranco is a good place because he does not filter. He'll give his opinion, but he says, this is my opinion, and then he gives both sides of whatever is going on. So I like that.
That's an interesting approach.
I like that a lot. Collider Video. I like Collider. I like their movie news stuff. Nerdist. I always liked Nerdist. There's a channel I used to love called SourceFed Nerd, but they closed down last year, and I was very sad.
One secret you want to share with us, which you had never shared
on any other platform or video or anything?
I think a lot of stuff I've shared on one of my live streams at one point, I'm sure. I've had some live streams that went 6 hours. People like pretty much asked me everything under the sun. Well, I guess one thing that I haven't mentioned very often that people get surprised about is I'm bipolar. I'm bipolar 2, and I have a mild dyslexia. So like sometimes it's hard for me to read because the bipolar, a lot of times my brain has like 15, 20 things going on at the same time, and it's hard for me to concentrate on just the reading of the words. And I end up reading the same sentence over and over again. So it takes me a long time to read things, but I get through it. But I think the bipolar kind of helps with my reviewing of Indian films or anything that has subtitles, because I can concentrate on multiple things at the same time. So I can read subtitles, but I can also see the entire movie in my peripheral. So I can see color schemes, focus, camera angles. I can see the camera placement, movements, tracks, pans, all that kind of stuff. I can hear the actor's performance. And I don't have to read for very long. I've read subtitles for so long that I just kind of glance over them and I know what they're saying. So if you watch my trailer reactions, you'll see my eyes like do this kind of, they'll like bounce back and forth. So the bipolar does help me in the fact that I multitask in my head all the time. The downside is it sometimes make it really difficult for me to deal with just because it's a mental problem. But I take medicine for it. So there's
that
some...
means you had a...
Do what?
You had a great memory. That great RAM we call.
Yeah.
RAM.
Yeah, I have good RAM. The ROM's not so good. The CPU is awesome though.
Yeah, it's really great that you have used that thing in your videos, like the bipolar thing. You have used it in a positive way for your videos.
Yeah, sometimes it makes it difficult for me to make a video though. So, you want to be yourself. You want to be positive. If I'm in a downswing on the bipolar, sometimes I just don't make a video that day because I don't want to come off as like, hey, everybody. So we're gonna watch this movie, and yeah, all right, let's do it. You know, it's like it's boring. That's not me. It's just a temporary thing. So, like tomorrow, I'll be fine. So I just don't do a video that day. But sometimes I have a lot of fans that get, you know, mad that I may have promised a video but didn't get it out in time. You know, and they're getting anxious, and I have to kind of tell them, you know, I wasn't doing very well that day, so that's why there's no video. But I always try and get one out as soon as possible, you know. And then with the trailer reactions, that's why I kind of condense them into the live streams that I do every week now, is because they were taking up too much time, and I wanted to get more movie reviews done. And so by moving all of the trailers that come out that week into one live stream that I can just break up, that saves me a lot of time.
How frequently do you upload the videos on YouTube?
Well, I've been trying to do about three to four videos a week. I would like to get to one video a day, but I can't always meet that, especially with, you know, 2 jobs and bipolar. It doesn't always work out that way. But I would do things like maybe film something ahead of time that I can release later. And I would like to get to a point where I have videos in the hole, like ready to go, that I can just upload like on the bad days. That way there's something up there and I don't have to worry about it. It's like giving myself a little mini one-day vacation kind of thing. But it's really hard to get ahead, especially on videos. And I want to be able to see more movies. I see myself more as a reviewer than a reactor. Like, I do reactions, but that's not the part I'm interested in. I'm interested in doing the review part after the reaction. So I get...
So your favorite...
So I'm sorry, what?
Your favorite movie?
Well, so I don't have favorites of things, you know.
Okay.
Like favorite...
You like each and every...
But I do have one favorite movie, and it's nostalgia. It's because of nostalgia. The Princess Bride.
The Princess Bride.
The Princess Bride with Andre the Giant, and I love that movie. I could watch that movie every day. I love that movie. But it is because it, you know, reminds me of a kid. It's got fantasy. I love fantasy and a lot of humor. It's very funny. So that would be the only thing I would say that I have a favorite of would be that.
Okay.
Any Indian movie?
A favorite Indian movie?
Yeah.
I don't feel I've seen enough Indian movies to pick, like, even a top 5. Like, I can pick a top 5 out of the movies I've seen, but I wouldn't have a number 1 in there just because I feel like there's other movies that I haven't seen yet, and what if one of them is better, you know? So I don't have a favorite Indian movie. I think the favorite movie that I reviewed out of the reviews that I did, let's see, probably Vikram Veda. I really liked Vikram Veda. Vikram Veda.
Vikram Veda.
Yeah, with Madhavan. That was my favorite Indian movie last year.
Okay.
And I like that one a lot.
Have you seen any horror Indian movie?
I've had a lot of short film makers that send me their short films. They're mostly horror centric, you know, horror or thriller. So I've seen a lot of those, but I haven't seen a just straight horror film because they haven't had any come out here. And I have a polling system set up for older movies that I review, and I'm way behind. So it's more of like whenever I can get to it.
So what profession you would have choose if money and fame is the factor?
Profession? Well,
Yeah.
it would be this. It would be YouTubing. I would be reviewing movies in one way or another. Whether I'm not much of a writer, it would take me a long time to write an article, but I can do a video.
Any one thing that you would like to do for your entire life?
Oh, one thing that I would like to do. I guess it would be to visit a lot of those ancient cities. You know, Mayan, Aztec, Incas, Indian, Greece. I love those kind of ancient, 2,000, 4,000, 6,000 years ago kind of cities. I would love to see those ruins. I love the ancient ruins. I've always wanted to go to Peru, for a lot of that place. So, yeah, it would be ancient cities around the world. I love history.
Okay, me too.
Okay, so any Indian YouTuber who is your favorite or you like something about him?
Well, recently I had been watching a few of Pesh. Have you seen Pesh Entertainment's videos? Pesh. I like his. I like the fact that he is very much like me in that he's himself on camera. He's not overreacting or trying to be someone different or, freaking out when something happens. He gets excited about things, but he is very much of just a normal guy, and he's got some good insights on things. So I like Pesh.
Okay.
There's a few of the smaller ones that I just kind of see in passing. I don't really know their names. When I don't watch a lot of other YouTubers' reactions because I did it, and I don't have time to watch all of that. But when we have a big movie, when there's like a Bahubali or a Kabali or Kala or something like that, when 2.0 comes out with their trailer, I'll end up watching everybody else's reaction just to see what they did and maybe see some other reactors, and I'll comment on their videos and stuff. So you might see me commenting on random YouTubers all over the place for big trailers. And I just want to see what they are like, the stuff that they do.
And how much do you earn from YouTube?
Almost nothing. I think I get about, I recently, so I was in a MCN. Do you know what an MCN is?
Yeah, that was YouTube. It's about collaborating, I guess.
Yeah, it's a multi-channel network. So they're kind of like a TV station for YouTubers. You get put under their blanket, and then any money that you make goes to them, take a cut, and then they give it to you. So when I was under them, I was making up I think it was like between $30 and $40 a month.
Okay.
But then a few days ago, they released me from the contract. They said we're redoing all of our stuff, and I had asked them to pull out, and I was going to get out in July, but I guess they decided to release me early. So I don't know how much I make now that I'm not in the MCN, because there's a couple of factors that would go into play, like were they increasing my CPM, and if that's the case, then I may make less. Or maybe they were taking too much, and in that case I would make more. But I've only had about 1 week without them, so I haven't really seen too much of a change. I think I would still probably make about $40 a month. And then I have a Patreon, and I got 3 people in there, so I make like $10 a month off of that. So it's like probably around $40 or $50 a month that I would get off of YouTube. Not very much.
Yeah, it's not very much. But we'll support you. Keep on going. Your content is really good. You like it.
We like your content.
Yeah, I like doing it, and that's why I do it. I mean, if you did it only for money, then I think you're
then you will not get the results.
Right. But I also think so there's two things. If you do it just to make money, like that's your goal, you're going to crash. Your channel's going to crash eventually because you can't sustain that because you're not being yourself.
Yeah.
If you do it and you love it, then it doesn't matter if you make money at it. However, if you get to the point where you're able to do it full time because you're making a living from it, that's good because you're still sustainable because you're still doing what you love to do. So if I ever got to the point where I could make it full time and I was doing it as my full time job, I would totally do it. I wouldn't have any fear of burning out. And I would just be myself anyway. So
Yeah.
it would be awesome. I don't really see it happening, but it would be awesome.
No, we hope that would happen.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So where do you see your channel in the next 2 years? 2 or 3 years?
I have I want to expand a bit more. So in the past probably about 6 months I've been doing a lot of changes with the channel, you know, like splitting them up with the second channel, trying to focus more on reviews instead of reactions, pushing the reactions to the live streams so that I can do live streams at the same time. I'm trying to find ways of like combining stuff. So like I like doing live streams and I like doing trailer reactions, but I can't do both. And so pushing them together into one, for one, people know I'm not faking it because they're watching it live.
Right.
But so I do that way I can do the live stream, interact with people, they can ask me questions, and then I can do those trailer reactions, and then afterwards I can cut the reactions out and put them up on YouTube. So that saves some time. But I also want to expand more into like I have a website in mind that I want to do that would be centric for like both channels, but then have a lot of other stuff in there, like aggregate a lot of information for like movie news. And one of the big things that I want is to be able to let people see when movie showtimes are happening for Indian movies. You know, right now it seems difficult for me to know when an Indian movie is going to be in the theaters. If you saw, like in the Padmavati review, I was planning on going to South Denver to watch it. And then I looked at the phone, and that morning they put a showing at the theater closer to me. It was only a half an hour away. But that showing wasn't there the day before. There's got to be a way of knowing ahead of time so people can plan instead of looking at the morning of. And it makes it really hard for me to plan out a movie because I really don't know if I can see a movie or where I can see it until the day of the showing. And I can't plan a 1.5 hour trip to South Denver to watch a movie if I don't know when I can go, you know. So I'm playing with some ideas right now on how to aggregate some of that information and make it easily accessible, so that people can just look up wherever they are, what movies are playing, so that they can see what Indian movies are around.
Okay.
We'll see.
Your family support for your YouTubing? Your family support for your YouTubing?
Yeah, my dad likes to read the comments.
Oh, that's great.
He'll say, you know, that new video you saw, this guy commented and he said he was talking about this, and I'm like, yeah. My mom likes it. My mom likes it. She likes the fact that I like it. Is really, you know, moms. They're like, as long as you're having fun. Yeah.
And your brother?
He's not really. He was in some of the videos before, but he's a writer, and so he would much rather go do writing stuff. He's not into videos anymore.
Right.
And my parents don't want to be on camera. My mom has been a couple of times, like the Padmavati for the vlog. She was in there.
Yeah.
But it's usually just very quick. But they don't want to like talk on camera. They don't like it. I'm the weird one in the family.
Just one more question. I just got that in my mind right now. Three actors from India: Shah Rukh Khan, Amitabh Bachchan, and Nawazuddin Siddiqui. Have you heard about them? The three of them?
Yeah. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
reacted to a lot of their trailers. I've reviewed a few Shah Rukh Khan movies. I haven't reviewed any of Bachchan's movies yet, but I do like his acting style from the trailers and stuff I've seen. He's a very natural actor, and I like that. Like Nawazuddin, I'm really impressed by Nawazuddin. He's a very natural actor.
He's not. He's a great man. So he had done a great struggle in his life.
Yeah, he's one of those actors where you're a little worried that maybe he actually believes that, you know, because he's so natural in it. He's
He's a polished man.
well, he's internalized. You know, he's a lot like Daniel Day-Lewis. You know, he'll internalize a lot of the character, so they're not just acting the character; they almost believe they're that character, and
Right.
you can see it in his eyes. You can see it in his eyes. So, I want to see more from Nawazuddin. I think he's going to be.
Bal Thackeray. That's
I-
going to be a biopic.
Oh, nice! I like biopics. Who is it about?
Bal Thackeray.
He was the politician of Mumbai.
Oh, okay. Well, politician.
Yeah. The trailer for that movie is out. So maybe you could react to it for the next video.
I'll try. Yeah, I'll look it up. Maybe we'll get it on the live stream. I've got a couple of trailers that came out this week that people have been requesting, so
Okay.
I'll add that for the live stream. But I
And we'll also watch.
I can't do the live stream, and I have to work Friday night, so it's gonna be like for tonight. You know, come home, have a half an hour to set everything up, and then go right into the live stream.
Any questions do you have for us?
We are done with the questions. Those were the questions we had.
I think you had. I think you asked something before that I don't think we touched on it while we were recording. How to deal with haters or negative comments.
Yeah, exactly. The negative comments. How do you manage to tackle all those?
So I think for when you have negative comments, you have to kind of think of it from the point of view of the person that's commenting. So whenever you're dealing with anybody, whether it be positive, negative, or a different opinion or whatever else, you have to put yourself into their shoes and see why they're doing the things they're doing or how they're thinking that way. A lot of times with negative, you have different kinds. You have negative comments, you have trolls, and you have haters, and then you have haters. So a hater is someone that just hates everything you do. They just hate you as a person, and it doesn't matter what you do, they just hate you.
Yes.
Trolls are just trying to get attention. They want a reaction out of you.
Yeah.
And then negative comments, though, are not always bad. A lot of times a negative comment could just be a different opinion, but people are internalizing it as a negative opinion. I've had a lot of opinions that are different than mine on my comment section, but I didn't think of them as negative. You know, I just thought of them as different, but other people might see them as negative. So you have to kind of separate between a different opinion and a hater. They're not the same thing. When it comes to a troll or a hater, if you're looking at their psychology, they have really low self-esteem. They have something going on in their life where they feel diminished and minuscule. They feel like they have no power. But when they get online, they spew all of this crap because it makes them feel powerful, that they can affect somebody else the way that they have been affected by others. So a lot of times when I see a hater or a troll like that, I kind of feel bad for them because I'm like, well, something really crappy is going on in your life that you have to like yell at me as some anonymous guy online. It doesn't bother me just because from how I grew up, you know, I was made fun of and beat up a lot. So whenever somebody throws negative stuff at me, I'm like, I've heard it before, you know. Just rolls right off my shoulder. It doesn't bother me at all. But for other people that get negative comments and haters, I can see how it would become draining on them, you know, eventually that they wouldn't be able to handle it. And you really just got to think of it from the point of view of, look, that person is messed up. You know, there's something going with them. They have no self-esteem. They're usually not that intelligent. Just kind of feel bad for them that, you know, they're an idiot. So I don't, none of it bothers me. If anything, I find it funny. Sometimes I post it on the social media, you know, whether it be Facebook or Twitter, if I get like a really weird one, you know, and then I comment on it and basically set them straight. That's one thing, the easy thing to set any hater or negative person straight. Don't get emotional. Just
Ignore them.
logic. Just state it logically, break down their sentence, logically pull it out there. Like, you're not attacking them back, you're just pointing things out. And you stay logical and calm, and they'll get even more mad, but you kind of turn it around on them. So
Right.
that's what I do that in real life too. Like, if somebody walked up to me and started yelling at me at my face, I would look very calm. I always do. It's a little unsettling for some people because they'll be yelling at me and I'm just like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. And I'm not worried about someone like throwing a punch either, because if they did, I'm fine. Like, you can hit me, it's not going to bother me, so it's all good. So I have no worries. I don't worry about other people coming at me.
You're the cool character.
So, like, I had a lady at my other job. This was in the first week that I started this job, right? That retail store. And
Okay, congratulations.
this lady was yelling at me. Like, just berating me because a bag of potato chips was half off, but only if you buy two. So you have to buy two to get two for $5. But she just wanted one bag for $2.50. And I pointed out, no, it doesn't work that way. You have to buy two bags, blah, blah, blah. And she's yelling at me in the middle of the store about $4 bags of chips or whatever. And I'm just standing there, just waiting for her to stop. And then when she stops, I said, well, if you want to get a second bag, then you can do that. She's like, starts all over again. And I just calmly do it. And then my boss came over and handled this, you know, took her aside and helped figure it out. But my boss came back and they're like, I am really impressed how you handled that lady. I'm like, just stand there and let it. They run out of steam eventually. You know,
So do you have any lady in your life?
A what?
Do you have any lady in your life?
A lady? No, no lady.
Not yet.
No. Now I've had girlfriends in the past. Nothing that would be like marriage. No.
So you're not planning for marriage anytime soon?
Well, I'm not dating anybody. I don't. I guess, you know, marriage is a lot different. Like in India, people see marriage as something that you plan for. Like, you're going to get married at this time. It almost doesn't matter who it is. And half the time, for a lot of people, it's arranged.
Yes.
In India, the parents used to think that marriage is the entire solution
For everything.
for everything of the life.
Yeah, it's not.
Their goal is
The
goal is
goal
just
is
that.
to raise the kids and get them married. That's the thing.
That's the thing.
And
After that, do whatever you want.
it's very funny because that's like one of the top questions I get is, are you married? I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out here, it's a lot different. There's no arranged marriages. That's actually seen as like a really bad thing, arranging a marriage, because then you're not giving the people a choice. You know, they're not choosing the person that they marry, and that's
In
very
India, it's a culture.
yeah, it's very different out here. Out here, it would be offensive. If you tried to arrange a marriage, it would be offensive.
Oh.
Then definitely I'll be over there in your country.
But it makes it harder, you know, because we have to meet people and we have to date them, and maybe you fall in love, and then you might decide to do marriage. But also, marriage out here is has a very kind of religious overtone to it, and so there's some people that don't do it just because they're not religious. Others don't want to be tied by the law. You know, when you get a marriage certificate, you're tied by the law, and then if you ever separate, you have to get a divorce, and then that gets messy, especially if there's kids and property and all that stuff. I've always just been a laid back dude. I don't really worry about things too much. I'm an atheist, so the religious part doesn't come into play, and never really met anyone that I would want to ask. So if someone comes along and we hit it off really well, maybe. But I'm not actively looking. I stopped trying to date a long time ago. Like, I dated all through my 20s and half of my 30s, and about 5 years ago I just stopped. I got other things to do, and it takes up too much time and effort from the guy's side. So I'm like, well, if it'll happen, some girl will find me. I just spent the last 20 years trying to find a girl, and it didn't work. So I'm going to concentrate on my own thing. And if she finds me, she finds me, but I'm not worried.
That's great.
Yeah, so I think we are done with the questions on our part.
Yeah, definitely. Now we have to start work for your blog. We want to write for you. That's you're a great personality. A cool man.
This was Vishal and Shubhi taking Koricon's interview for our blog, King's Writer. And make sure that you watch his videos because he reacts and reviews them in a very interesting manner.
He's the cool man. As
Can you say my name again? Say it again. Say my name again.
Koricon.
Koricon. I like the way you say it again.
Koricon.
I like the way you say it. It sounds cool. I say it sounds boring. Koricon. It's like all kind of blended together. You're separating out the consonants. And
Koricon. Yeah, I was saying Koricon. Yeah.
it gives it nice flavor to it. Koricon. I like that. All right, okay, everybody, go check out kingswriter.com with 2 G's and comment below. Let us know your thoughts on all of this. Did they interview me well? Did I answer questions? If I missed something, ask it in the comments or come on one of the live streams and ask me. A lot of people do that. But like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends. And I will see you guys on the next video.